Hey. See, I really been popping my shit on a whole nother level. You playing, get sent to the devil. These bitches been on me, I swear they keep calling my phone. I'm like, hold on, let me check the schedule. If she get time of day, then I had a good place, so I'm back at the spot. She getting big like a press. These niggas be soft on the bitch, but turned up off the purse. Boy, I'm solid and stand on whatever. See, I really been popping my shit on a whole nother level. You playing, get sent to the devil. These bitches been on me, I swear they keep calling my phone. I'm like, hold on, let me check the schedule. If she get time of day, then I had a good place, so I'm back at the spot. She getting big like a
ready until the last minute, huh? This guy. Alright, let's get it. 2 minutes or so.
Yeah.
Paul, a seller and a broker, trying to buy a company. Always hustling. Alright. So, this is a business that does about $500,000 in profits. I think we can do a good deal. Looks to be a good business. Now we just need to find out what have we missed. And if we ain't missed nothing, strike a deal.
Can you make me one, please? That'd be lovely.
Would you like caramel or chocolate?
Yeah, bit of mocha would be good.
I'm calling you from Copenhagen. Yeah, I'm originally from the Gambia in West Africa. Born and raised there. Yeah, I also lived in America for 4 years and London for 5 years, so I'm a bit of a nomad.
Oh, wow.
I'm surprised you're choosing north of London over Texas. Texas is making a comeback. That's where all the money is. You know, everything's happening there. It's booming apparently. Is this something? You know, are you willing to stay on for a bit of time, just so we can sink our teeth into once we've done the deal, what it is we're getting? If we did a deal and partnered, essentially you could outsource all of that management burden to us and become part of a management team. So you start operating at a higher level, but you don't get stuck in the nitty-gritty stuff. You can focus on sales. Much appreciated. All right, guys, have a good one. Okay. That was longer than I thought. That was supposed to be a 20-30 minute seller call. Ended up being an hour, 10 minutes. Awesome guy. He's like an entrepreneur's entrepreneur. This guy has built a very successful business in a very short amount of time. But I think the challenge is everyone thinks their child is the most handsome. That's my steel CEO. You see, if I don't pick up in half a second, I get half a second.
He doesn't pick
and
up.
He's gone.
Yeah, that's a boss move.
Yeah, he's on some boss shit. Hey champ, I would like him to come work with us, but you know, he's very, 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 very entrepreneurial, and that's a great thing. It's just the challenge with people that are overtly entrepreneurial is there's a risk that they want to move on to the next shiny thing or not focus. I mean, if we can recruit this guy into the organization, he's a killer.
It's your birthday on Friday, right?
It is my birthday on Friday, Oscar.
Yes.
You remember?
Yeah. So I bought you a gift.
No way, dude.
Yeah.
For real?
Yeah. I bought you a gift.
No way.
Because I appreciate you.
Wow.
And I think you have done so much for me.
Wow, dude.
And this is like a gift you can use on the journey to 100 million.
No way, dude. It's a sick gift. Yes.
Wow. It's an unboxing.
Wow, dude. This is insane, dude.
And it got your initials.
No way, dude.
Yeah.
I really appreciate this, brother.
Yeah.
This is sick, dude. I appreciate it, and I promise you I'm gonna use this pen to sign a deal within 90 days.
That's awesome.
That's my promise to you, Oscar.
Yeah. Yeah.
Dude, this is so sick, man. Thank you, dude.
Sat in a band or watching Snap weren't good for my mental health. The things that I see on a daily basis be on a daily mail. For real. Why the hell would I dwell on the past when I make profit off the pain of?
Okay, so just for the sake of this episode,
Sir.
Let's just pretend that we just bought a, let's say, £10 million business in London. What does a typical month look like after you bought that business?
When we did the first deal ever, I bought a steel fabrication, basically a steel factory in steel fabrication business in Newcastle in England. I was so naive, I didn't realize we had to manage the communication process. And so we bought the company, the old owner announced it to the employees, but it took me 2 weeks to show up. So I finally show up, and lo and behold, there was rumors going around the shop floor that we had bought the business and we were going to shut it down and move locations. And I was like, guys, why would we buy a business to shut it down? That doesn't make any sense. But you know, like any other rumor mill, they don't have to be logical. And so the key is when you buy a business, it's very important that you control communication. For example, the bank is another key stakeholder. You might believe that because you're not borrowing money from the bank, that the business trades through and pays its invoices through and, you know, settles its bills through and pays employees employees through, you might feel as though you don't need to communicate with that bank. But there's something called a change of ownership clause. And most banks have change of ownership clauses. And so if you don't bring the bank in the loop, the bank, i.e. the one where the business that you're buying pays its invoices and pays its salaries, then all of a sudden one day they just have a notification that says that the old owners no longer own the business. That can be a problem. The first 2-3 months, the first 100 days, communication. Managing stakeholders so that everyone knows what's going on, so that there's no misunderstandings or misinterpretations. That's the golden rule. Over communicate. Sometimes you have to eat on camera.
Yeah.
Hey, Oscar.
Yeah.
Everyone that's seen the Oscar's videos saw. That's how you get the views. we have a running joke that Oscar should just eat spaghetti every time he shoots content because his video blew up. And I have a theory it's because he was eating on camera.
Yeah, that's our theory.
So today I'm eating on camera.
Yeah.
Subscribe.
Okay. So
by the way, I have something to tell you. Something to tell you, Oscar.
Yeah.
Obviously, we're doing Azerbaijan in 3 weeks, but I've been invited to a town in England called Crewe. Crewe has a particular factory that I don't own, unfortunately, that I will be touring. The Bentley factory. I've been invited to go and tour the Bentley factory of Crewe. So I shall be taking them up on that offer. And I was extremely clear with the guy. I said, listen, I ain't buying a Bentley, okay? I did go in there, I test drove one, I even asked him for a quote, just what does this cost? And listen, I live in Denmark, the taxes here are 180%. You buy 3 for the pleasure of driving 1, but I shall be touring the Bentley factory in Crewe in 2 weeks' time. So that should be fun. So it's England and then Azerbaijan.
Yeah, you previously talked.
Somebody's at my damn door. You can see the shock in my face.
Yeah.
Who the fuck? It's disturbing me as I get subscribers with my zoom-in shots of me eating like Oscar did. Delicious.
You
Yes,
previously talked about
sir.
escrow accounts. Yeah.
What do you want to know?
Where the capital got distributed from investors and banks to the seller. So I just wanted to know what happens after the seller gets paid.
Interesting question. The lawyers set up an escrow account. The leverage from the banks, i.e. the debt, flows into that escrow account, which is held on demand on behalf of us as the beneficiary of those funds. The equity investors also put money in the escrow account, and then we sort of give very, 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 very specific instructions that say, if these 7 things occur, then you must release the escrow funds. However, if any of these 7 things fails to occur, then you must not release escrow, and they must be paid back to, the parties. So assuming those 7 things occur, and essentially what's happening is it's obviously the closing, the consummation of the deal. Those monies then get deposited into the sellers. So what happens is there's a closing call. There's myself, my lawyers, my team. There's the seller, their lawyers, their team. There's the bank's lawyers. And all of the lawyers have to go around the table and agree and concur that the deal is hereby closed. And only then is it done. At which point we become the beneficial owners of the business and the sellers become the beneficial owners of the money. And then we get to do whatever we please with our business. They get to do whatever they please with their money. Once that happens, it's somewhat anticlimactic, to be honest. I mean, the way these deals work is you're so pent up, right? Working to the deal that actually you don't feel ecstasy when it's closed. You're just like, oh, thank God we got it done. That's how I feel right now. I mean, we've got so much going on that when we finally close and we then own the business, the feeling is of relief. Thank goodness we pulled it off. Another one. DJ Khaled, baby.
So how much time do you spend with the seller after the transaction has been finalized? Are you just getting out of everyone's way?
Thank you for wording it so kindly. Am I just getting out of everyone's way once the deal's done? That's exactly what I do. I get out of people's way, Oscar. The thing is, where I add value is in relationships, maintaining, mending, creating relationships. I add 0 value to any factory floor, to any, sales room. That's not what I do. And so once we've closed the deal, my team of managers or whoever we've retained to represent the shareholder interests then gets deployed into the business and starts doing their thing. That always includes the CEO of the group, who then starts scheduling, recurring meetings, whether that's weekly or bi-monthly or whatever that may be. He may start recruiting all the other stakeholders that we need in order to make this a successful business that we now own. And I, as you so eloquently put it, Oscar, stay out of everyone's way. I think the way to look at the CEO role is there's an operational CEO, and there is sort of a hypothetical CEO, i.e., I'm the chief member of this team, therefore I bear the title CEO, but I'm not actually the chief executive. That was the role that I played in our steel group. Our then chief operations officer, Paul, is now the recognized CEO, but he has always done the same work. It's just, for the purposes of our goals at the time, we were looking at trying to list that group on the stock exchange in Scandinavia on the NASDAQ. It made sense to have a Denmark domiciled chief executive, which was me. I was also, and I'm also the founder. I am sort of the chief spokesperson for the enterprise. Therefore, I had the business card that said CEO. But I have never done CEO duties. My duties are always limited to capital preservation, capital absorption, hiring at the highest level, i.e. recruiting the number 2, helping the number 2 recruit the number 3, serving as a sparring partner on executive strategic decisions, and being the chief representative to the outside world. I'm just like, charge. Let's do shit. I'm really milking all of the cues. Do shit. I suspect, and again, what do I know? I'm just a dude, okay? I'm just a dude on your YouTube screen. In my opinion, I think, because now we're talking about teams and what do you do once you've bought the business and how do you manage the company and incentivize people. Because at the end of the day, as the deal guys, we don't run the enterprise, right? We're not there for the day-to-day operations. And I suspect the people that bring in money, every business needs revenue, every business needs income. If you don't have top line, it doesn't work unless you're in venture capital, which is a very specific segment of business. You measure sales guys in months. You then measure managing directors, right? So when you buy a business and you set up a group, you'll have the group, which is doing the roll-up, buying different companies in one sector. And then you'll have the business that you just bought, which is called a business unit. That will have a managing director as sort of the chief daily operator. Sales guys get a few months, and managing directors get a couple of quarters. 2 quarters, that's 6 months, 3 quarters, that's 9 months, before you can really start measuring their impact on a business. And then at the group level, the group CEOs are measured in years. Now that's fortunate and unfortunate. That's fortunate because at the end of the day, your chief role as the chief deal guy, maybe the chairperson of the board, the deal sponsor, call it whatever you like, is to hire good people, give them sufficient resources, give them direction, and get out of their way. And really it takes a year to a year and a half to figure out if a group CEO is actually fundamentally delivering on the value proposition as put before them. That's how I like to think about this. So it's best to never panic. You need to take a long-term view. At the end of the day, the businesses that you're buying have been trading for decades. 30, 40 years, 50 years, and you need to have a view that sometimes you're in good seasons, sometimes you're in bad seasons, but ultimately it's nice to have a sense of when can you start putting judgment on people's deliverables. And what I haven't mentioned is the deal sponsor, the deal guy. How much time does that guy get? Well, let me tell you something. My ass is on the line every day, okay? My investors can call me anytime, okay? 9 in the evening, because maybe they're in some other city where it's 3 p.m. They're like, let me just check up on Yusufa. And this is me. Hey, how's it going, guys? You know what I'm saying? Everything cool? Shit, the bank might text me at 1 in the morning. As a deal guy, you're, whilst you may not be busy in the traditional sense of working a 9 to 5 and like having things going on at all times, you are constantly tuned into the goings-ons of the business and the goings-ons of the group. Because at the end of the day, I am the chief accountability officer. If this shit hits the fan, it's on me. Good luck. 0 to 100.